Story 1. While you are growing up, your parents are growing older. Story 2. In my experience, the older you get, the fewer people care. Eventually, nobody cares. If you do not put in the effort to reach out to others, no one else will. Story 3. The good, you can eat as much ice cream as you want. The bad, you can eat as much ice cream as you want. No, seriously. You think that you get all the freedom in the world when you become an adult, but you are trading all your free time just for the means to survive. Story 4. You do not have to have nap time, but you want nap time and cannot have nap time. Story 5. Time hits the fast forward button after high school. Feels like January was last month sometimes. The next thing you know, it has been 10 years. Story 6. Life is a single-player game. One life, no checkpoints. Your experience stays with you. Treat people well, and they will remember you. Treat people badly, and they will never aid you again. Story 7. You can do almost anything you want, which is great, but you have to deal with the consequences, which is not great. You can stay in bed all day and not work, but you will probably be broke. You can have a big party with your friends, but you have to pay for everything and clean up afterwards. Basically, you have many possibilities and opportunities, but it is all up to you. Story 8. In the end, you need to be your own best friend and support system. Only you can lift yourself out of life's inevitable challenges. Story 9. Every day is mundane, especially when you get into the workday routine. Not that I would know anything about that, just an observation. Story 10. First, time goes by much faster than you think it will. Old age doesn't come on gradually. One day you'll just realize, I am old. How did that happen? Second, young people are amazing. Forget all the stereotypes about self-centered, heartless, entitled youth. Young people have an innate ability to say to themselves, well, that didn't work out. Oh well, let's do something else. For young people, making mistakes and trying something else, or doing something and realizing it isn't for them, is part of being young. At some point, we lose that as we get older. Older people tend to dwell on their mistakes and feel it's too late to change. They feel trapped by their decisions and obligations. Working with college students in my 50s, young people have taught me 3 very important lessons. 1. It is okay to need help. That is what friends do. My experience has been that young people can be the most loyal and true friends of all. 2. Stop taking life so seriously. There is something funny about almost everything. So step back, take a deep breath, and laugh. 3. It is okay to change and do something else. Make a mistake. You are not dead. Do something else. So my advice to young people is, respect youth, learn from them, and they will respect you and teach you plenty. And never lose the qualities I named above. Story 11. People at work can be just as childish, if not more, than those at school. Some people wait for the opportunity to betray or belittle you publicly. Story 12. Not everything is black and white. Most things are shades of gray. Story 13. Life is only better if you are proactive about it. 80% of the time, people who are happy or unhappy are that way because of the decisions they make. You are responsible for your own happiness, and that is a good thing. Parents are no longer signing you up for sports or taking you on vacations. You have to plan those yourself. But now you get to choose what you do and when. Also, it is your responsibility to enjoy your rest. It is all in the mindset. Story 14. 50 years on this planet, and I am sitting here pondering what I can tell you that reflects the sad reality of being an adult. Nothing really comes to mind other than the daily grind of going to work. Be a do-gooder in school, and you can increase your prospects of having a job that you actually enjoy. Story 15. None of us knows what we are doing, what will happen, or what we should actually do. Story 16. As soon as you are truly on your own, is when you find out how well your parents did raising you. Story 17. Life isn't fair. You can work harder and be better qualified but still get passed over for promotion. You can be the perfect partner, but they can choose to leave you at any time. Story 18. Watching your parents, grandparents, and family grow older and not being able to spend more time with them because you work, especially if you live abroad. Story 19. If you see an adult, They always have dishes and laundry to do. Story 20. The harmful things you do to your body add up. Listening to headphones at maximum volume can cause tinnitus. Headbanging hard to Metallica in the 1990s may result in neck pain. Showing off how much you can lift without bending your knees can lead to back spasms if you move incorrectly. Take it easy on your body. Story 21. Many other adults, even those younger than you, will try to out-adult you or make you feel inferior. Whether you have a career or a job, the number of years you work there usually determines how your superiors will treat you if you are lucky. For example, if you work somewhere for 2 years, you may be treated like a child. If you work somewhere for 30 years, you may be treated like an experienced adult. Most adults will judge your character and value based on where you work, how much you work, and your spending power. They place great emphasis on this. They only care if you are a good person or not, and your inner qualities matter only if they can use you or want to use you. You cannot do whatever you want because of multiple barriers such as public opinion, the law, the government, money, and criminals. You are restricted in what you can do and sometimes cannot even do what you need to do. Additionally, many burdens and responsibilities suddenly fall on your shoulders. To your town, county, state, country, continent, and the world, you only matter as a number. You do not even make up a fraction of a percent. On that scale, you might as well not exist, and no, they do not care about you. They care about your money and how it is divided and allocated. Outside your small circle, the only thing about you that matters is how much money you receive, spend, lose, or pay in taxes. Story 22. How lonely it feels. I am 20, so I am still in the transitioning period of becoming an adult, and sometimes it is so lonely because this is where everyone's life starts to go at different paces and in different directions. You start growing as a person, and sometimes that means growing apart from friends you thought you would be with forever. Story 23. Time speeds up the older you get until a month feels like a day. Story 24. Being an adult is basically being a child who pretends to know what they are doing. You get used to doing things more often than not. It is not so much that you have matured. You are just a child with added workload and are judged by a different standard. Story 25. You can prepare yourself as much as you want. Life will always throw you a curveball, especially as an adult. Story 26. As your loved ones grow older and more fragile, you will eventually lose them. Story 27. You are not guaranteed anything. Not love, not happiness. I think most people grow up taking for granted that these things will happen. Reality is a lot more complex. If you are lucky, what most of us do get looks more like a comfortable compromise. Many of us end up going through life with less. Story 28. High school never ends. Even when you start working and expect everyone to behave like adults and work together, there will always be people who keep getting away with not pulling their weight. Some keep gossiping and spreading rumors, and there will be bullies all around. Also, people do not magically get their act together when they are adults. Story 29. Unlike many people, I feel that adulthood is awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend being a full member of society, even if it is tough sometimes. Being a kid is tough too. Many have forgotten. However, the bloom has gone off the rose a bit since the news revealed an ugly truth to me about adulthood. I used to think that we aged out of having to deal with childhood's ills. You know the stuff I mean, lunch table schoolyard problems and worse. I used to think that adulthood meant being afforded dignity and left free to simply live. Sadly, this is not always true. Every day I look at the news feed and what do I see? Overgrown children acting out their cruel behavior on the national and international stage. Bullying, sycophancy, showing off, whining, stealing, pulling the wings off bugs, running home and crying a pack of lies to their parents. It seems that I was wrong. Many of us never do outgrow this. The worst part is those who do not somehow work themselves into positions of power. For all that, though, I still recommend adulthood. Just chronologically, it is inevitable. Story 30. The way the world should work and the way that it actually does are sometimes very different. Do not confuse them. For me, this was especially true in the workplace. Being good at what you do and willing to work hard sometimes is not what matters. That said, people's skills can be learned and improved. Story 31. Life is more about how you react to things and less about what happens to you. Good and bad things will happen in life. What matters is how you react to them. Story 32. You have the freedom to stay up as late as you want and eat candy for dinner, but you will feel horrible if you do. Also, dishes, so many dishes all the time. Story 33. Making friends as an adult is harder, so cherish the friendships you have. Story 34. Sleeping is a luxury. Sleep well, especially in the afternoon and at night when your parents tell you to sleep. Just sleep. Story 35. You have fewer friends, and you will have fewer as you get older. It becomes lonely. Story 36. That feeling of figuring out what you want to do, with no responsibilities, is the best time of your life. Take a risk. If you fail, learn from it. I was so scared of taking risks and really wish I had. Story 37. You are in charge of everything. If the car needs an oil change, it is your responsibility to take it to the lube shop. You need to plan all of your meals and clean up afterward. You are the conductor of your life, and you need to do it with excellence. Story 38. New friends are few and far between. Treat the ones you have with the utmost respect. Story 39. Cherish your loved ones or things you enjoy. A band, a pub, something. Cherish it all. One day, not for everything, but you will experience loss. Story 40. The opportunities you receive will always be based on your perceived value, not on what you feel you are owed or entitled to. Story 41. The generation after you will get older, and one day you will realize you are no longer socially relevant. That day will happen much sooner than you think. Story 42. Chances are high that the life you imagine for yourself today is nothing like the life you will end up living in the future. Story 43. Just follow the money. Bring your passions and hobbies into your career, but do not make them your career. Story 44. No one is coming to help. You should pay attention and make good decisions. Story 45. Realizing that being in your 20s is like having superpowers. Story 46. You can work very hard and build everything up, only for it to be taken away, which is completely out of your control. You have to plan for uncertainty. There will be a significant problem coming. The only thing you can do is live in a way that makes uncertainty an inconvenience rather than a catastrophe. Story 47. When you are young, you identify as a person who has not figured out life yet, but one day you will be a functioning mature adult who has everything together. That feeling never leaves you. You always feel confused in a big world. You still identify as a clueless young person, except your body is not young anymore. It is old and failing. You do not identify with these young people because they seem strange. The young people you identify with no longer exist, which is lonely and isolating. The older people who had everything together when you were young also no longer exist, which is also lonely and isolating. Time speeds up, and each year goes faster than the last. You are on a freight train accelerating towards a cliff at a frightening speed, but you are still waiting for your life to begin, and you are starting to realize that you might have missed that chance a long time ago. Story 48. The number of possible life paths you have decreases as you get older. Sometimes it is actually too late to start. Story 49. The advice to follow your passion in careers only goes so far. If your passion aligns with a lucrative career track, then you are in a good position. But if it requires a lot of work to make money from your passions, then keep them as a hobby. Get a job that you can tolerate to pay the bills, and do what you love for free because you love doing it. I would not say that data entry is my passion, but it gives me plenty of free time to rescue animals, garden, and travel. Story 50. You will really understand that your choices matter for you, and your ability to clearly decide will either fill you with a sense of power or dread. Story 51. Stuff just does not happen unless you or someone else endeavors to make it happen. And I do not mean the big things, I mean the small things. Laundry just does not happen, you have to do the tedious task of setting it up. Your things will be exactly how you left them, whether you like it or not. You have to either pay someone to fix things or spend the time fixing them yourself. Story 52. You have three aspects of reality that nobody gets to avoid: pain, uncertainty, and constant work. Those are things you just have to live with no matter what. What will make you happy is the process. You have to learn how to love the process of dealing with those three things. Phil Stutz. Not really a sad reality, just reality. Story 53. You will spend your life working to buy time. What time? Time you are not actively working to buy more time. Story 54. You have to go to work, and yes, it is more than 40 hours per week. Yes, you have to commute to and from work on your own time. Story 55. There is no one to shield you from the consequences of your actions. Story 56. Remember when you were a kid and summer loomed large on the horizon? It took a while to get there. But once you did, it was 3 months of glorious freedom, adventure, and comfortable boredom. When you're an adult, you don't get that anymore. You can look forward to 1 or 2 5-day vacations a year, or even just a measly 3-day weekend, knowing you will pay the price when you get back to your job and have to catch up on everything you missed. It's an endless, plodding existence in cubicle land. But maybe your office will have a decent vending machine or something. Story 57, middle daughter. So is this it? Going to work, dinner, some TV, sleep, and start over. Parent. Yes, welcome to adulthood. Story 58. You may never feel amazing physically again. Something always hurts. Story 59. Once you live on your own, it costs money every second of your life. Even if you stay in bed, the bills keep accumulating like the counter on a gas station pump. Story 60. Being an adult is living with regrets. It is not only okay to look back and wish you had done things differently, it is proof of growth. Story 61. You are subject to aging. You cannot escape the fact that you will grow old. You are subject to illness. You cannot escape illness. You are subject to death. You cannot escape death. You will change, separating from all that is dear and appealing to you. Those around you are also subject to aging, illness, and death. They are subject to change. You are the owner of your actions, heir to your actions, born of your actions, related through your actions, and have your actions as your arbitrator. Story 62. It's not going to come to you. People who stumble into or have things handed to them, such as a house, a loving family, or a high-paying job, are not as common as most kids and young adults think. The grind is only just starting, and you will have to put forth effort to achieve the lifestyles that many people want to live. It is not easy to become successful without ambition. Story 63. Society stops caring about you. When you are young, people see you as a child with potential, and most will go out of their way to guide and encourage you. Then, at a certain age, it stops. No one cares about your future goals or aspirations anymore. Especially if you are a man and average to below average in appearance, you become invisible. Story 64. I am over 40 and still trying to teach myself to be okay with being miserable and bored. It is the key skill every person needs to learn if they want to get anything from life. Story 65. For some of us, nobody is coming to save you. You have to figure that out. Story 66. People will dislike you and sabotage you for reasons that have nothing to do with you. Often you have only 3 choices. Tolerate it, leave, or go to war. Leaving is usually the best option. Story 67. Your life is going to be mundane. There is no ship coming in. Time is an illusion. All you have is right now. The people for whom this is not true are a statistical minority. Get used to it. Story 68. No matter how well you plan, life will challenge you in one way or another. All you can do is prepare yourself to handle change as much as possible. Car accidents, problems at work, issues with friends or family, things breaking in the house, relationships changing, and so on. You need a rainy day fund of cash to deal with these situations. Life is difficult and expensive, and then you die. Enjoy it as much as possible while you can. Story 69. Nothing happens unless you make it happen. A blessing and a curse. Story 70. People nowadays have absolutely no feelings at all. They want the latest information on their cell phone to post on social media. Story 71. At the very basic level, young people should make a simple plan and work hard to achieve it. A simple example is to work consistently and save money. Buy a property, continue to work and save, then buy a second. It is challenging, but adult life is challenging. And by the time one is 35, one will be in a position to truly enjoy life. Sadly, I did not get it together until I was 50, but on the other hand, it only takes 3 to 5 years of success to make up for the wasted years. Keep the faith and listen to yourself. Story 72. If you have a family that cooks for you, enjoy it. Once you are on your own, you do all meal planning and preparation yourself. If you do not eat. Story 73. You often do not have time to do things you once enjoyed. You either have too many responsibilities, such as children, extra work shifts, or generally working late, errands, grocery shopping, or coming home and feeling too tired. You have to try your best not to overwork and burn yourself out. Find a comfortable balance and try to find time for yourself. Story 74. If you aim to be happy all the time, you will be unhappy more than you are prepared to accept. If you have the mindset that you have to work hard to be happy, you will be happy to work hard. Story 75. You are going to work to death, or you are not going to earn enough to survive. Story 76. Relationships now require effort to maintain. You need to dedicate energy and time to making plans and meeting friends. It is worth it. Story 77. The responsibilities can sometimes be overwhelming. Story 78. For most, it is a long, grinding week just to get to the weekend to catch up on all your non-work related tasks. Maybe you get a little time to squeeze in a hobby or see a friend, but before you know it, it is 6 p.m. on Sunday and time to start it all again. You get some vacation here and there, but generally, it is endless and repetitive. You have to savor the little victories along the way, but mostly, it is just a slog. Story 79. We are like property of a larger society called the world government. Not totally free or completely American. Expect lots of giving and doing until you are tired and ready to run away. Story 80. The lack of energy and the accumulation of physical pain. Please take care of your bodies. All of your decisions will have an effect as you get older. Story 81. If you do not care about your mental, physical, and emotional well-being, no one else will. Story 82. It is actually scary and really mind-blowing how fast time goes by once you are an adult. Story 83. It is okay to want to save the world. You also need to realize that it is okay to just save yourself sometimes. Do not be selfish, but if you do not take care of yourself, you will not be able to help anyone else. You do not have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Story 84. The silver lining is real. As you grow older, good memories become more and more rare. Not saying it is all downhill, it is mostly just boring. You can still have big moments like getting married and having children, but you have to learn to truly appreciate the little things in life in case you do not get another one for a long time. Story 85. There is no one-size-fits-all for adulting. Don't be afraid to ask questions and remember to stay curious. Many adulting hurdles can be overcome with a little research and planning ahead. Despite people saying everything has been done before, it is important to realize that this is not true. We're all just figuring it out as we go and discovering what's possible. Many adults experience anxiety, but it can be managed by learning to listen to your body and through exercise, stretching, naps, natural foods, and natural medicine. Self-love is very important and often underrated. Learn to become your own best friend. Many societies, especially in city life, are often geared more toward making money rather than being communal and looking out for one another, but it doesn't have to be that way. Learning to look out for yourself and others, make the world a better place, and find novel ways to navigate rent, insurance, school, and a job can be very useful. Also, don't believe everything you hear. There is a lot of pessimism and negativity from adults who feel stuck, but most of us have good hearts. It's a journey. Learning to adapt and live from your heart can take you to many unique places. This world is vast and needs you to stay open and be creative to navigate and fully discover it. Story 86. Peace of mind is the ultimate skill, not passivity, blind ignorance, devaluation, or competition. Story 87. Maintaining good friendships is difficult, and making new friends is really hard as you get older. Story 88. We are all vulnerable to anxiety. You will make mistakes and others will make mistakes. Practicing empathy for others leads to empathy for yourself. Story 89. The wisdom of age is a false idea. I am still foolish, but now I am foolish with a bad back. Story 90. The world does not care about you. In real life, you may have to do or deal with things you do not like or that upset you. Complaining about things you dislike on social media will not solve your problems. You are not special. Story 91. Your body will betray you. Exercise now while you can do it easily. It will make life much better. If I could go back, I would start yoga in my 20s and do daily cardiovascular exercise. Also, get your medical checkup. Medical problems develop faster than you might think. Story 92. You will never stop feeling like a child, even when you are older than others. Story 93. You work. You pay bills. You die. Hopefully, in between you find laughter, friendship, love, and accomplishment. Story 94. Need to strike the perfect balance between feeling bored and feeling stressed. Story 95. You are responsible for your own happiness, and most people do not care about you. Story 96. All the good things your parents had, they did not have any of that at your age. They did not have much. Took decades to accumulate. You want the lifestyle you grew up with and got used to, maybe even took for granted. It will take you decades too. Story 97. It becomes even harder to make friends or enter into relationships. Story 98. Your body is going to hurt. No matter what you do, how you eat, how you sleep, or how you move, getting older hurts. Somewhere you least expect it, one day something will go wrong and it will hurt. My advice is to get used to working out every single day. Move yourself, take an hour walk each day, and get strong because you will hurt. It is just part of life. Story 99. The loneliness of being the single friend. I have noticed that some friends become engaged or get married, and after a while, they drift away until you never hear from them, whether you or they initiate contact. Story 100. Pain is a regular experience in most people's lives. You need to let it teach you. Story 101. It never ends. I mean, it does, but not in a fun way. You always have things you need to be doing, short-term tasks, long-term tasks. Even if you take a day off, the work just piles up. Then you have more to do: housework, job tasks, fun activities, bills, doctor's appointments, errands. There is always something you need to be doing. Story 102. Life is not fair, and most people only care about themselves. Story 103. Just because you work really hard does not mean you will be successful financially. Also, if you deal with general anxiety as a child, it does not just disappear when you become an adult. Story 104. You will be able to afford all the video games you want, but you will never have time to play them. Story 105. Keeping yourself alive and maintaining your home are much more work than you would expect. Story 106. Planning what to eat for dinner every evening is a nightmare. It only gets worse when children are involved. Story 107. You can do everything right at work and still get reprimanded. Story 108. Make plans to support yourself. Do not change your career plans for love. Story 109. No one is in your corner or truly cares about you. People will only want to be around you if there is something in it for them. Story 110. The rest of the world will not tiptoe around you, as you may have mostly experienced at home and in education. You will encounter unfiltered, real life directly, and no one is interested in any complaints about it. Story 111. You will need to decide on, pay for, shop for, and cook every meal every day for the rest of your life. Story 112. Your body is gradually deteriorating, and there is only so much you can do about it. You also tend to lose hope as you age. Story 113. It's so monotonous. All the fun activities you did as a child, someone had to plan them all. That's you now, and planning all the fun stuff is exhausting to the point you'll just give up like the rest of us. Story 114. You never reach a point where you suddenly understand how to be an adult. Eventually, you realize that nobody else knows either, and everyone is just pretending to be competent. Story 115. It can be incredibly lonely. I do not see myself as lonely. I have a wonderful boyfriend and very good friends, but it would be a lie to deny that some of the worst loneliness I have felt was in my early 20s. Even if I had friends to talk to, it still did not help with the loneliness that can creep in, especially when I was living alone for the first time. Story 116. One of the worst things as an adult is that you have to cook every day. You have to think about what to eat today, tomorrow, and the day after that, 365 days a year. You do not realize how nice it is as a child not to have to worry about it. But once you start cooking for yourself, you may think, I will just order a pizza again. Story 117. The most important decision in your life will be who you allow close to you. Your partner will make or break you, and their family is a big part of their mental makeup. Your friends can also impact your life for better or worse. Life is a series of choices, so try to make the best ones, the ones you can live with. Choose wisely. It is better to choose someone who actually wants to work things out, who is not afraid of communicating, and who will seek help when needed. The end goal is not perfection or constant happiness. You want to live your life to the fullest without a long list of regrets from a life not lived but merely survived. Story 118. You can adopt pets. You are then responsible for every medical care decision for them, and they will likely die or need to be euthanized, again your decision well before you. I had that thoughtful moment this morning while bringing my cat to the veterinarian to get her teeth cleaned. I almost cried thinking about something that will hopefully not even be a concern for another 10 years. Story 119. You never reach a magic point of being 100% wise, compassionate, or self-assured. It is a process. You cannot go back and change things. Just try to learn and do better next time. Story 120. When you are a child, you do not have enough money to do what you want. When you are an adult, you do not have enough time and also maybe money. Story 121. Unless you have an exceptionally well-paying job, you cannot live off of just one source of income. Those days are long gone. You will either need a roommate or two or live with your significant other. Story 122. If you do not put effort into keeping your old friends, you will discover that it is much harder to make friends as you get older. Story 123. Your body will not recover as quickly as it did. Stretching is essential. Story 124. Everything is very expensive, and costly events continue to occur. Story 125. Running out of laundry detergent, toilet paper, and paper towels can be overwhelming. These items are all so expensive. You will rarely see your friends. It is nothing like Sex and the City. Eventually, you may need to wear a knee brace. You will find yourself concerned about your lack of fiber intake. Story 126. You do not have time to be sad. Things need to be done, bills paid, and children fed. I schedule my breakdowns for bedtime now. Story 127. Health becomes an even greater factor to consider. I won't preach or tell you what to do, but I will say that I have been happier and healthier by actually enjoying fresh vegetables and fruit. Over time, the sweet stuff becomes difficult not only to enjoy but also to justify. I would rather eat an orange as a dessert than follow my usual habits. In fact, I surprised my family recently by eating oatmeal at 2 a.m. with a little honey. Does it taste like cardboard? Yes. But does it cause any major side effects like dairy products, high sugar, or caffeine? No. These benefits are becoming more attractive to me as I age. Again, do not sell yourself short or think you need to work out intensely or give up what you love. Instead, gradually develop a mindful approach to your diet and learn about its history. Humans were not biologically designed to handle our current food culture, which contributes to many issues related to health, body, mind, and even wealth. Story 128. Once you become an adult, you will not be held up on a pedestal. No one will praise you for simply showing up. There will be no more participation awards. You will have to earn your keep. Story 129. Life seems so long when we are young. Children grow up. Family passes on. In the moment, it seems like it will last forever, that nothing ever changes. But 20 years is not all that long looking back. Everything can and will change in an instant. Someone said, life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. That is very true. Story 130. Friends are few, good friends are even fewer. Mostly, you are completely on your own. Story 131. Not being able to hang out with friends even when you like them. Story 132. You cannot compare how far along you are to others, and you cannot expect everything to go smoothly. The majority of adults are still learning as we go. Story 133. In my opinion, start saving money, invest in your health, and accept that people come and go. It will happen. Also, if you are upset or angry at a situation, think to yourself, will it matter tomorrow? If the answer is no, then let it go. If yes, then do something about it. Story 134. Sometimes you have to spend money on things that are not fun. All those 1980s public service announcements and not one of them warned us. Have fun while you can. Kids. Story 135. Employers are not your friends and do not care about you or your family. Story 136. Kids often dream of the freedom that comes with adulthood. The truth is that real freedom is free time. Having your own place and your own money means nothing if you do not have free time from work to enjoy them. Enjoy the ample free time you have as a child. It will not last. Story 137. You have to decide what to eat every day, and the laundry never ends. Story 138. 40 hours no longer provides sufficient support for you, let alone for a family. Story 139. Be prepared mentally for some very upsetting experiences you never thought you would go through. Story 140. Disclaimer. Aging may cause headaches from a single drink of any alcoholic beverage, lead to allergies to blueberries, make you avoid events after 10 p.m., increase coffee consumption, cause back pain from picking up dropped items, require stretching for at least 30 minutes after exercise to prevent stiffness, result in a hunched posture, increase expenses such as paying for multiple streaming subscriptions and various insurance policies, lead to spending time on the porch during rain with appreciation, necessitate frequent car repairs, cause missed property tax payments resulting in bills, evoke emotional responses during movies like Inside Out, and lead to dissatisfaction with work for various reasons. Story 141. There are many challenges that come with growing up, as mentioned extensively in this thread, but the best part for me is that I'm an introvert and I love being at home. Since age 4, I've had to get up very early and go to school, where I was unhappy. I found a remote job that I enjoy, and I'm very happy that I never have to rush out of my house. On slow days, I have time to sneak in hobbies during the workday. On busy days, I can still take breaks to walk in the park and then return to finish my tasks. We often think of a life well lived as something loud and extroverted. Traveling often, seeing the world, having new experiences, and meeting many new people. But there is a lot of joy in a simple, quiet life too. I find traveling too frequently very destabilizing. There is stability in routine. There is calm in taking care of yourself with fresh meals and clean clothes. There is comfort in having a space of your own. With options like remote work, you have much more freedom. Romanticize the mundanity. If we can romanticize travel and adventure, why can't we also romanticize the opposite? I have decided to make cooking for myself and cleaning into hobbies. I give them the same care and attention I give my other hobbies. When I do that, I directly reap the benefits. It becomes a positive feedback loop. The more you do these things, the quicker and easier they become. Story 142. I always thought I would know what to do or have a clear direction when I became an adult. I hit my 20s and felt kind of lost, fumbling around. Then my mid-20s, then late 20s. In my early 30s, I realized and accepted that no one knew what they were doing. Life is just life, and people live it and try their best to survive every day. Story 143. There are many lessons, but one that was a good reality check is this. You can get away with eating poorly in your early 20s. Once you reach your late 20s and beyond, that is no longer the case. You can definitely be fit and in shape as an older adult, but you will have to choose between that and indulging in unhealthy food. Also, once you reach your 50s, you may want to start regular monitoring for various types of cancer. I am not there yet, as I am only 42, but cancer becomes more common as you age. If you lived unhealthily in your 20s and 30s, you will pay the price once you reach your 50s. Story 144. All the unfairness you experienced as a child will affect you emotionally when you grow up. I thought I had somehow managed to escape my traumas. 30 years old, having to handle all that emotional baggage is crippling. Story 145. Those churches are still around for a reason. The real hope and real joy are there. It does not come in the form of regulations and tax breaks. It comes in the freest form of mind to heal the soul and empower the brain to make society better for all around you. Some call it religion, God, or many other names for God. But what it really is a form of self-love and preservation. No government, lover, family, or friend can make enough laws to give you that inner peace, that Zen. You have to find your own spirituality and your own faith, put it to a purpose, and then you will be happy. Simple gifts of random kindness throughout the day are all you need to do. Story 146. A lot of times, it does not matter what happens to you or how you feel. People expect you to show up for work regardless. Work can be very difficult sometimes, and the more people there, the better. When you call out, it is usually upsetting and makes everyone else's day harder. Injury, operation, COVID-19, it does not matter. You may legally be allowed to stay out, but the people you work for or work with often will not care. You will get scolded for being absent. You will usually hear something like, "I understand you had COVID-19, but so did everyone else. Just try to get here more. You are missing many days." Translation: I had to do your job because you were not here. Now I am a little upset about it. Story 147. You get to make your own choices, but everyone has told you the wrong choices. The alternatives are usually just quit your job and become a successful businessperson, which not everyone can do. Story 148. The only sad reality I can think of is that you start getting judged based on your age. When you are young, you get rejected because you are too young. When you get older, it is the opposite. You get rejected because you are too old. Story 149. Time speeds up. The endless summers of childhood. The countdown to some anticipated event that seems to take forever to arrive. The snowy days of fun. All gone. Years and then decades flash by. And always at my back, I hear time's winged chariot hurrying near. Story 150. You are doing it wrong, but by the time you learn to do it right, you will no longer be young for many different things. Story 151. To successfully become an adult, you have to do chores even when you are tired. Story 152. Many things you are doing for the last time in your life or have already done. Story 153. Being an adult is pretty great overall, but you have to develop good habits by your 30s at the latest. A bit of exercise and paying attention to what you eat, for example. It's not even that big a deal, but you really want to do it. Story 154. You really need to start saving for retirement as early as possible. Even then, it probably will not be enough. Story 155. You have to worry about things you did not have to worry about before. Story 156. Sometimes the friends you think you are going to be close with for life just fade away. Story 157. Rent, groceries, dishes, laundry, the 4 challenges of adulthood. Story 158. When reading this kind of thread, I realize I probably had a really difficult childhood. I wouldn't trade adulthood for it unless I could go back but keep all the knowledge I have now. Financial independence from parents, doing whatever I want. What else could I want more? Yes, there are difficult days, but I wouldn't trade what I have for going back to school life. Story 159. Work is difficult. Home ownership is expensive and challenging. Renting is frustrating, and you have nothing to show for it in the end. Getting older is tough. Nobody cares what you did in high school, and what you did in college only matters for a few years. All the unwise things you did for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter, will stay with you forever. Story 160. That you can be 66 and beg God for a do-over of your life. There are so many things I would do differently if I could. Story 161. If you do not want to live in a mess, you have to spend almost every free moment doing chores. Now I understand the real reason parents assign chores to their children. Story 162. The everyday obligations that reduce your freedom include working, taking care of parents and children, maintaining your health, managing a relationship, and the endless list of chores. Story 163. Nobody is coming to save you. You need to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself because friends are often only there in good times. Remember, Blood is thicker than water. Your family will usually be the ones who come through for you in ways your friends will not. In my case, I do not have a relationship with my father, but I can always count on my wife, brother, and mother. Story 164. Adults have to deal with stress, anxiety, and pressures related to work, family, and relationships, all while maintaining appearances and managing these emotions without the same level of support that may have been available during childhood. If you never had emotional support growing up, it becomes very difficult quickly. Story 165. Life is not fair, and for some people, life just sucks. Story 166. The body begins to hurt and things break. One day, your back will hurt for no reason. You may break a tooth and need a root canal. You might gain weight from eating the same foods as 15 years ago, and you could develop cancer. Story 167. If you are a man, it will be lonely. Nuif en orbu. All expectations will be on you, and no one will help or sympathize. Anything you go through alone. Good luck. Story 168. I cannot think of a sad reality. My life is much better as an adult now that I am in control of my life. I did not have a great childhood, though, so maybe that is the key. Story 169. Unless you have serious financial resources, the freedom we often dreamed about as children is overrated and mostly non-existent. You can go wherever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, and do whatever you want while you're at it, right? Mostly. You could do all that, but you won't be able to do it very often or for very long. How are you going to afford it? How will you afford to live between activities? You are responsible for all of your own bills, taxes, and expenses, and without a job, which takes up a lot of your time, you won't be able to afford much. Story 170. It is a bit poor. Yes, technically you can do whatever you want, but the reality is that you actually cannot. The sensible choice is always to do something far less interesting. Story 171. Friends come and go. Your friends in high school or college will no longer be your friends as years go by. Time, distance, and life will happen, and the vibe and connection you have will slowly chip away. You started out as strangers, then acquaintances, then best friends, and then back to acquaintances and finally strangers. Cherish the moments with them while you still can. Time flies fast. Story 172. One day, after a full night's sleep, you will wake up still feeling tired, and that will be your new normal for the rest of your life. Story 173. Life goes on with or without you, whether you choose to participate or not. Grade school is like a protective blanket where adults set your schedule and path. But once you leave, you enter the real adult world where you must make your own way and do things for yourself. People will stop coddling you. The worst thing you can do is nothing. It severely stunts your growth as a person. It is better to try and fail than not try at all. Story 174. In your late 30s, you still feel like you are in your 20s, but you and all your friends are too busy being adults. Story 175. Loneliness will affect your health and well-being just as significantly as many physical diseases. Story 176. Time goes fast. And I don't mean a little fast or that things seem like they were yesterday. I mean very fast. This year honestly feels like a few months. I will be 50 next week, even though I was 25 at the start of the year. Probably. Story 177. No more summer or winter breaks. Work continues without pause, and the passage of time becomes confusing without these significant checkpoint periods. Story 178. Everything changes. The things you like and want to try, the food you want to eat, the places you want to go do not stay the same. Once you start to work, you may wish you were just studying back in university because life is hard as we have been told. So enjoy your life. Enjoy the present time that you have. Do not rush to adult life. Story 179. Sadness is a part of life. It is an emotion like happiness. Ultimately, everything you experience in life will bring out various emotions, and how you handle those moments determines whether you are ultimately sad or happy. Having said that, the longer you live, the more people you lose. For me, that has been one of the saddest experiences. Story 180. You will not have that many friends. Most people in your circle will be acquaintances at most. Story 181. We are born to struggle and pay bills. Life is never just comfortable. Something always comes up to mess everything up. Stay young. Forever. Story 182. Many will find that adulthood is better than childhood. Do not be scared or sad. Embrace life. Expect to be surprised, disappointed, and delighted along the way. Story 183. You can literally wake up with a broken shoulder if you sleep wrong. Ask me how I know. It has been a month and a half of pure hell. Story 184. Many of your friends and coworkers likely have better lives, and there is nothing you can do about it. Story 185. Somewhere between 25 and 30 people become much less willing to help you, take a chance on you, or teach you a new skill unless you pay them. Story 186. For me personally, I thought once I became an adult, the people around me would act rationally, be kinder to each other, and generally get along better than what I experienced in my teenage years. The reality has been the opposite. I am about to turn 40, and I am finding how little I have in common with those around me. Story 187. The only person who can heal you is you. Yes, you can and should get help to be your best self, but at the end of the day, if your relationship with yourself is broken, nothing is going to fix that. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.